You are now listening to the Mythic Rare podcast with your host, Graham Pollard, and the icon, Willie B. Welcome back to the Mythic Rare podcast. I'm your host, Graham Pollard, joined by the one, the only, the icon, Willie B. We are doing a pretty unique episode this week. I know not every Magic fan is into football and sports in general, but me and the icon Willie B, we come from a sports radio background, and it's probably the biggest week in sports right now. It's the Super Bowl. By the time you guys are hearing this episode, the Super Bowl will be tomorrow on Sunday, because this episode is coming out on Saturday. I know a lot of Magic fans are going to be football fans, so we wanted to cover the Super Bowl, do a little Super Bowl pregame show, pregame podcast, and we are going to talk about Theros a little bit. We got some interesting topics to cover, and that, no doubt about it. But we definitely want to get into the Super Bowl. And believe me when I tell you, there's no bigger expert on football and sports in general than sports management major and the one, the only, the icon, Willie B. Willie B, what is going on?
Oh, man, nothing much is going on, Mr. Pollard. I'm just so stoked. It brings me back. I'm getting a little sentimental. I'm starting to get tears in my eyes. This is how we started. The pregame was how we started Sports Talk show, and man, it feels good. As much as I love talking about Magic, it does feel good to go back to the glory days and talk about the Super Bowl, which is the biggest spectacle sporting event in the U.S. Not the world. Don't worry. I know if your sports fans try telling you, oh, it's the biggest game in the world, tell them that they're stupid, okay? But it is indeed the biggest sports game in the U.S., and we have got quite the breakdown from the entertainment aspect of it, which I am personally feel victimized about the fact of the choice of national anthem singers and
the
halftime performance, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Super Bowl is being played in Miami, where Mr. Worldwide 305 Pitbull is from. Literally, basically the president of Miami. I mean, honestly, you might as well give that man the city to the.
He is the mayor.
He has it. Does he?
Anyone will. No, I don't know if he actually has it, but anyone will let him into.
Honestly,
he metaphorically has it in a way.
Yeah, Pitbull is honestly an icon in that area. Pitbull is an icon globally, and don't get me wrong, I love Shakira. Big Shakira fan as well too.
Her hips don't lie, so.
Exactly, her hips do not lie. She's a she-wolf, you know what I'm saying? But
I know what you're saying.
She is no Pitbull, especially in Miami. It just feels robbed. Now, I will say Pitbull is still performing somewhat. He is actually he's hosting a pregame party. I guess it's like a pregame tailgate party.
It's his own thing, though. It's not like an official NFL thing, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you're Pitbull and you're in Miami, how can you not be involved in it? You own Miami.
Yeah, this city is yours, and all these people are going to be coming in here, and so you got to keep it up.
100%.
All I'm saying is, I want to go down to Miami with my Pitbull jersey and just roll up and be like, yo, Mr. Worldwide.
You have a Pitbull jersey?
Oh, I got a Pitbull jersey.
What's the team? Or what's the jersey?
No, it straight up says. So
it just says Pitbull on the front?
No, so it says Dale on the front. It's got the Pitbull global symbol in the top right, and then there's another symbol in the top left. I think it just says actually PB.
How much does a Pitbull jersey run for?
It's more of a jersey, so it was $30 from his online store. And then on the back,
he's an online store that you.
Oh my gosh, his store is phenomenal. Some great.
So they have any Ugly Dolls? Because he was in the Ugly Dolls movie.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst movies ever made. I never saw it, but I love Pitbull. But I mean, you gotta have better standards than being in the Ugly Doll movie.
Yeah, I think that was more of just money talks at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
But so I am a little upset that Pitbull is not the halftime performance.
That's baloney.
When I found out that it was in Miami, I was like, Pitbull or we riot. And so at this point, I just want to riot, Forget anything else about the NFL. Forget about any moral standards of watching football. My sport ethics teachers would be like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl because of the ethical." And no, I don't care about that. The ethical part is that they didn't choose Mr. Worldwide 305 to be their halftime performance. Straight robbing this man of idolizing his city in front of his people, and
No, it's the biggest sham of all time. Why? What's the argument from your sports ethics teachers? Is it because of Tyreek Hill?
No,
And
no, 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 no. Like the ethical part of football is just like, I mean,
oh,
the
it's just in
game
football
itself.
in general,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
not
yeah,
because of
yeah.
the two teams
Not
playing.
yeah, not because of NFL, but it's more
Okay.
just yeah,
Well,
it's the
that's
ethical
that's
part
lame. Yeah, get out of here,
of football.
Western Carolina teachers.
Yeah, but so that's my little rant about the Super Bowl. I've never
Well
been more
deserved. So
disappointed in the NFL to say the least.
yeah. No, when we heard it was in Miami, immediately we just assumed it was a lock that Pitbull was in. And
Yeah.
we've been jamming at the Pitbull for the longest time. If you were in 8th grade to, I'll say, sophomore year in high school between the years of like 2014 to 2018, you were jamming out to Pitbull nonstop in
Oh my.
all of your like school dances. And when Pitbull comes on, there's no doubt about it, the crowd gets going.
I just want
And
to.
that's what the Super Bowl needs.
It's like what was it? I think it was 2014 when the All-Star game, the MLB All-Star game was at Citi Field, the new Met Stadium, right after Shea Stadium was built, and it was Christina Aguilera and Pitbull performed Feel This Moment. And oh my gosh, I tell you, that was one of the most electric performances I've ever seen on TV. The only thing that comes close to it is maybe Lady Gaga's.
Or Creed. No,
halftime.
Creed was the best national anthem at least of all time. And
Yeah.
they did what Super Bowl or what halftime show did they do? The Thanksgiving halftime show. That's
Yeah.
probably the best halftime show of all time was the Creed halftime show.
Yeah, I agree. But man, and then Timber at my prom in high school. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about getting a bunch of people all riled up? So, actually, funny story. I got in trouble my senior year from my girlfriend at the time because I was feeling sick kind of all night, and we'd been sitting on the balcony because it was hot where we were. But I heard Fireball come on. I kid you not, I straight up ditched her. I straight up ran inside. No questions asked, ran inside, just went full at it. And then she like found me and I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I thought I was about to yak up a storm, but anything for my man
Anything
Pitbull.
for your man, 100%. And the national anthem this year is by Demi Lovato. The over-under is under 2 minutes for how long she's going to go. A little pro tip for all of you out here. Traditionally, they say take the under. I'm going with the over on Demi Lovato's national anthem time. And I will tell you why. It's because the other major event that she did was the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and she did the national anthem in 2 minutes and 11 seconds. As big as Mayweather-McGregor was, the Super Bowl is a much bigger event than Mayweather-McGregor. So she's going at least 220 is my prediction. If you want to make some easy money, hammer the over Demi Lovato.
Yeah. Also, it's Demi Lovato. Like I feel like she's exactly the type of person to just like.
Oh, she's gonna be craving that. She's kind of out of the limelight a little bit.
Yeah.
And she needs to crave that TV time, I think. So she's hammer that over. 230 would be what I would guess.
Especially because nobody was watching the Grammys this year. So not that anybody
was she
really
involved in the Grammys?
I think
I did not
yeah,
watch any.
she performed at the Grammys. I think my sister was trying to figure out how to watch the Grammys because Demi was performing or something. I don't know. But yeah, so with the lack of attention from the Grammys, she's gonna be craving that. Plus, I mean, it's the Super Bowl. I feel like every year the people on the national anthem just take forever.
They do, but
when it gets
it's overrated. I think like historically betting the under on the anthem time is like very profitable. But this year I'm hammering the over.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to do that and to give me credit when they all win millions of thousands of dollars. If she goes under, don't blame me. But if you win, give me the credit. That's what I want.
Also, I just want to get a new national anthem. You know what would have been actually really sick? Pitbull singing the national anthem in like 3 different languages.
Oh, that would be electric.
I
100%.
know that like he just switches from Spanish.
I would just love him to be singing the national anthem and just throw in a Dale every completely inappropriate time.
Oh, Dale.
Oh,
and then it's
Dale, red glare.
Then he just drops, like the beat drops and he gets super hype. Also, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I would highly recommend watching or listening to Pitbull's latest album, which is Libertad, which on the cover is actually a picture of his dad. So, great album. That's how you know it's great. It's,
a tribute.
What a guy. That I probably listened to that album all the way through. I can't tell you how many times. And there's some songs on there, I like No Los Trates, like that one is an absolute banger. Dude, he's got songs with like Blake Shelton, and then he's got songs with like Lil Jon, and it's just fantastic the wide variety this man can go.
Okay, so the actual game,
Yeah.
which is, kind of besides the point of the halftime show, but the actual game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid, the man, the myth, the legend himself, maybe the second biggest legend in the world behind the icon, Willie B. And then we got the San Francisco 49ers, captained by my boy Jimmy Garoppolo, the Garoppolo Show, as they say. It's actually a very, very interesting matchup. The Chiefs kind of have been flying under the radar this year, if you will, in the AFC, because Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are kind of the big story, and then obviously of the Patriots. I'm a big Patriots fan, but they were always in. And the Chiefs, they were good, and they were always in the running, but they basically steamrolled their way, other than the first half against the Texans, into the Super Bowl pretty easily. And then you have the 49ers, led by Jimmy Garoppolo, who is, started as Tom Brady's backup, is now commanding by throwing 8 whole passes in the NFC Championship game, but going 6 for 8. And but he's a good quarterback. He's 21-5 overall as a starting quarterback, and it's a very interesting matchup. Two teams wearing red, so that's important.
Well, first time ever, actually.
First time ever. Okay.
According to Darren Rovell.
Yeah, Darren Rovell. Darren Rovell.
I don't know if you guys know who Darren Rovell is. He is arguably top 5 worst people on Twitter.
On the planet, probably, I would say. That's a safe bet.
He just, sometimes I really enjoy, the quirky, random facts, but he does it not even to be, he does it just to be a jerk and show off. And, it's awful, honestly. But, so he was mentioning how that was first time 2 teams wearing red. Or the Super Bowl.
And he said they're 2 shades away from each other on the color spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking down the freaking color spectrum before Super Bowl. I don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Get out of here. He somehow has 2 million followers, or what? I don't know how many he has, but way too many.
Yeah.
Did you see how Ravel freaked out at that one dude out of nowhere? The random guy with 100 followers that replied to his tweet?
No, I actually missed that.
Oh, okay. So, basically, some guy chirped him. It was a 2 out of 10 chirp, I would say. And Darren Ravel absolutely freaked the fuck out at this guy. And he was like, I make a good living doing what I'm doing on Twitter right now. And you're over here with 45 followers. And everyone was like, chill the fuck out, Darren Ravel. It was so uncalled for. He was clearly triggered by this dude. But he if you have 2 million followers and you're getting triggered by a guy that has less than 100 followers, nice phone.
Yeah,
you need to reevaluate your position as a Twitter pundit, I would say. But also, no one really respects Darren Ravel, so it's kind of par for the course, I guess. But
yeah, no, I agree. It's just he's honestly the worst. He's one of those guys who's yeah, I'm quirky and all, but then you call him out and he's like,
he's big into gambling, which I like, but in an annoying way, too.
Yeah.
He's bad for gambling in a weird way.
And the thing is when he knows that he's being annoying, he, feeds off of that.
Oh, he loves it, yeah.
When the Astros were playing the World Series, and every article he posted was about Mattress Mac, who, by the way, is actually betting on...
he has $1 million, I think.
On the 49ers.
Right? On the 49ers, yeah. I heard that.
So
so that probably means the Chiefs are a lock, because Mattress Mac has been historically bad on his major picks. For those who don't know who Mattress Mac is, he's a mattress tycoon from Texas who did one of those promotions where it's if the Astros win the World Series, everyone gets their mattress for free. And the Astros were in the World Series, so he bet I don't know what it was, $7 or $8 million in the Astros just to hedge it. But then he kind of became a gambling icon because of that. So he's made a ton of $1 million bets on other championship games and basically lost all of them. So the Chiefs are probably going to win because Mattress Mac bet $1 million on the 49ers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm rooting hard for the 49ers, Libby. I don't know about you.
I'm rooting hard for the Chiefs. I'm a big
Really?
Andy Reid
Okay.
guy. Big Andy Reid guy.
I like Andy Reid too, but I hate Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend.
Which leads us into our next topic of, is Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend as annoying as Oko was?
Oko is very similar to Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend. I will say that. They're both incredibly annoying. They're both kind of unanimously disliked. But they're both unavoidable in a way. Everybody talks about Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend for some reason. She's maybe a bigger story than Patrick Mahomes himself. She totally lied about getting harassed at Gillette Stadium that one time. She's totally lied about several other things just to get clout on Twitter. I mean, she is obviously an attractive lady because she's dating maybe the best NFL quarterback in the league right now. But she is legitimately one of the worst human beings on the planet, in my opinion, right now. She hasn't done anything criminal, but she's severely annoyed me. So, in my opinion. And she lied about being harassed at Gillette Stadium.
Okay, did she actually lie, or is that just the Boston media covering it up?
No, she actually lied. My guy, Turtle Boy, the best investigative journalist in New England, broke the story.
Oh, I sure believe that.
Turtle Boy is the greatest. The thing with Turtle Boy, his name is Turtle Boy, so nobody takes him seriously because of that. But he really is the best investigative journalist in New England. But he's got tons of eyewitness accounts of people saying that she was not harassed by security, all this crap. She totally made it up. She basically said that she had to get moved. She was forced to move, or she had to call security, because fans were harassing her, which was totally not true. There's cell phone footage of her leaving with no one harassing her. Totally fake. She made the entire thing up, just to get Twitter clout. Oko doesn't have Twitter because he's a fictional character. But if he did, I'm sure he'd be doing very similar tactics in order to stay unbanned. So, in my opinion, if I had to compare his girlfriend to any fictional character, it's definitely Oko, especially in the Magic universe.
I think you could compare it to Oko as well too, because it's same thing when Oko first came in, nobody really saw the power that Oko had, and just same with Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend, they're like, oh, it's Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend. Patrick, is a nice guy. I'm sure she's a nice.
Yeah, everyone says he's one of the nicest people in the NFL, great personality. His girlfriend is just awful.
Yeah.
That's just how it worked out.
And so I think that's what makes, and it's just everything becomes a story about her. And at this point, it's nobody cares. Just please stop talking about her. But then she'll try and put herself back in the media. It's one of those, we need to move on with her like we did Oko. Ban it, get rid of it, never talk about it again.
Instagram should block her, really, because that's all she wants is to be Instagram famous. Whatever. So with the Super Bowl, one of the most exciting things is kind of ridiculous prop bets about it. Prop bets, if you don't know, are kind of off the radar, just random miscellaneous bets you can make, not who's going to win, but just other topics. So we're going to go through some of these. We're going to give our picks. Number one, the total number of Donald Trump tweets on February 2nd, over 13.5 or under 13.5. I'm going to go over. Specifically because it doesn't have to talk about the Super Bowl. But he tweeted 130 times the other day about the impeachment trials. This doesn't say if retweets count. But I'm going to hammer the over on Donald Trump tweets on February 2nd. What about you?
Oh, I'm absolutely hammering the over because here's the thing. There's going to be some ad that's going to trigger him.
Oh, big time.
And so then he's going to talk about how repulsive the ad is. Or actually, I saw a leaked ad, and it was about it was a Budweiser ad, and it was about the proper American. There was a bunch of different other things, or typical American. There was a couple different things. One was a firefighter. It was just showing off his strength, and it was a fireman, with his hose.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. So it was all these other things. So it'd be oh, what a great job, great American. I can see him saying something like that, or him getting really triggered at the fact that there was a protest or a rally that was also involved in that.
I just think he's going to tweet. I think there's so much going on right now, just politically in general, that I think he's going to tweet 40 to 50 times about random crap.
Well, also, not to mention the fact that if Nick Bosa makes a good play.
Gosh, that's true. Nick Bosa's a big Trump guy.
So if you guys don't know, Nick Bosa, he plays sadly, he did go to Ohio State University, and he went to and he plays for the 49ers. He's like a well-known Trump guy, and so the running
Probably
joke.
gonna win the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, the running. There was a meme that I had seen. It was like Nick Bosa when he finds out that he has the chance to beat a half-black quarterback and meet Trump, and it was like him just so stoked. So Trump's going to be all over that.
I actually think I like Nick Bosa though.
Definitely.
Said, I think he's a great player. I know, like he went to.
He's great.
I mean,
great.
You
player.
have to like him because he went to Ohio State, right? Willoughby's an Ohio State guy.
I'm a big Ohio State guy. He's a phenomenal player. Bigger fan of Joey though.
For the chart, really?
Yeah.
I think Nick's a much better player.
I mean, I just like Joey. I think Joey's just like, I don't know. I always liked him more. Nick was just always kind of a tool.
I don't know. I guess so. But I think Joey's kind of a tool too, though.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I respect the fact I think Nick is more committed to the game. That's hard to gauge, but just from what I've seen, he seems to be working harder, and he's a better player in my opinion. He's in the running for defensive player of the year in general. He's definitely going to win rookie defensive player of the year. And like the 49ers defensive line is pretty ridiculous, and it's because of Nick Bosa as a rookie. So 4 or 5 years from now, he's going to be in J.J. Watt territory, to say the least, in J.J. Watt in his prime. That's going to be a scary defensive line. Really, both these teams could have the potential to be dynasties moving forward, but by the defense at least.
Yeah, I agree. Like that, the defense of the 49ers is so good. Like, honestly, I know he's your boy, and I'm kind of a fan of Garoppolo as well too. I mean, because he's a handsome man. I mean,
very handsome.
I mean, you can't bash him and like his ability of like everything that he's done, but easily one of the most overhyped QBs in the league.
Oh, disagree.
He gets carried
the
by
championship game, you didn't.
He gets carried the entire time.
I will admit, Mahomes is a better quarterback. But Garoppolo is a great
Garoppolo is Alex Smith if he ever had a team around him.
That's so bullshit.
No,
he's so much better than Alex Smith.
No.
Alex Smith had a good team around him. And Alex Smith was carried by the rest of the team his whole time. He was carried by Andy Reid, my guy.
So is Garoppolo.
The Garoppolo, I mean, the NFC Championship game threw 8 passes, but like the rest of the season, he had a very good season.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next prop bet. I don't really like this one. This one's pretty lame. But will a player leave the game and not return due to concussion symptoms?
Yes.
I'm just going to go. You're going to go yes. I'll go no on that one. I'm move on. That one's boring. Will any scoring drive take less time than it takes Demi Lovato to sing the national anthem? So, if we're putting the national anthem at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which I'm putting.
So it's going to be 2 minutes of game time, right? Not like 2 minutes.
Yeah, game time. Yep, game time.
Yeah, under. Or yes, I think that'll happen.
I'm going to take the under 2. There's got to be one. Well, first of all, like a kickoff return for a touchdown would count.
Yeah.
I don't think a defensive touchdown would count for that because I don't think that's a drive. But, like, you get the ball, one deep bomb downfield for Patrick Mahomes, like, that's got to happen, right? Or a 2-minute drill or something?
Yeah, no, 100%. They easily get that.
Okay. This is just kind of a long one, so stick with me. Which company airs the first commercial after the coin toss? Bud Light, Budweiser, Coke, Hyundai, Skittles, M&M or Mars, Kia, or anyone else? I'm going to go... I think the answer would be anyone else, but that's lame. I'm going to go Skittles.
I'm going Budweiser. They have
Budweiser.
They have 6 commercials.
They have 6 commercials?
And there's 75 commercials total. So we actually talked about this in my sport media class today.
Okay.
So there's 75 total commercials. Budweiser owns at least 6 of those slots. And Budweiser is like the official sponsor of the NFL, I think. Either them or Bud Light, or both of them are somehow.
It could be Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just Anheuser-Busch in general, but I'm going to go Budweiser because I think Budweiser always comes. It's Budweiser or Bud Light,
15,
that's for sure.
You got 15 to 1 odds. So
What's Bud Light at?
Both are 15 to 1. The field is the favorite, obviously, just because that. I'm going to go with the field. I hate to do that because that's boring, but It's gonna be like Quicken Loans or something, that just some random company like that. The best ones are gonna be like fourth quarter or like late second quarter, I think, is usually when they are. All the Bud Light, Budweiser ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, which coach will be mentioned first on TV after kickoff? That's just going to be whoever gets the ball first, so that's a coin flip. Andy Reid is the favorite, but
I definitely think they'll go Andy Reid because they'll be like, this is his first Super Bowl.
That's true.
Since the Eagles, correct? Yes.
Yeah, he's never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he's never won.
And the only Super Bowl he was in was when his quarterback was literally puking in the huddle.
Yeah. So,
he didn't win that. And I don't think, I mean, you never know. I would not expect Patrick Mahomes to be puking in the huddle.
Yeah.
So I'll go Kyle Shanahan just because he's the underdog, and I think it's going to be whoever wins the coin flip. So I'll take Shanahan as the underdog there. But whoever gets mentioned the most, I think, will definitely be Andy Reid. Okay, this is a good one. Number of women to claim sleeping with Jimmy Garoppolo during Super Bowl week, over under 1. Hammer the over.
Yeah, somebody's got to claim it, right?
Just, like anyone can claim it, and this is a hard one to for the books.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, how are the books?
Could just my friend, that's a girl, just say she slept with Jimmy Garoppolo and then win that bet? Like, I don't exactly.
I'm gonna go the under actually, because I just think this one's just too hard to like. It would have to be a famous person, right? Wouldn't it? Like,
it would have to be a public figure, I'd assume. It doesn't say that prop bet.
I'm going the under. That bet just seems. It's good, but like there's no way to properly track it.
So here's the thing: Garoppolo could get any. He's one of the best looking, arguably the best looking guy in the NFL. Starting quarterback for the 49ers. Super Bowl is in Miami, which is, primetime Jimmy G hitting the town city. But at the same time, I do respect Jimmy G enough to think he's going to be locked in his preparation for the game. So, but then also, girls have to claim it. It doesn't have to be true. I'm going to go the over, but that one's hard to predict. So, I don't know. I'm not confident in my pick for that one. Yeah. All right. Next, this is an all-time classic. What color will the Gatorade or liquid be that is dumped on the head coach of the winning Super Bowl team? Orange, clear, yellow, red, blue, or purple? Purple is a big underdog.
I was going to go orange.
I'm going to go blue, which is plus 750, by the way. So that's 7.5 to 1 odds. I like blue. I think blue, that's a good flavor. And it's a slept-on color. I think if you're getting those odds, I'll take it.
I feel like orange just seems like the most basic and like it's definitely.
Who drinks orange Gatorade though?
I feel like that's just what they put. Like
the favorite is red because both teams are red. But at the same time, does anyone like red Gatorade, fruit punch Gatorade?
Or is it going to be clear? Are they just going to dump water on them?
It's been clear the last couple of years, I think.
I'm still sticking with orange. I'm sticking with orange.
I'm going blue plus 7 to 1. Okay, next bet. Will Troy Aikman, he's the announcer, one of the announcers for Fox, mention his past Super Bowl experience? That's a yes.
Yes. 100%.
100%.
Because he's going to be like, oh, I know that Jimmy Garoppolo's in his first, or both of these quarterbacks are in their first Super Bowl. I remember when I was there, and like, I know that you have to do this. So he's definitely mentioning his old Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, this is a good one. Will any player finish with exactly 69 yards?
No.
No. Yeah, no is a heavy favorite. I'm going to go yes, just to play devil's advocate. But this is one of these ones where it's like just such a trap. It's pretty unlikely. But at the same time, everyone loves 69. So I want to be the sucker that goes yes on this one.
Yeah.
That falls for it. And the last one we're going to do here. Who will the Super Bowl of the Super Bowl MVP thank first? His teammates, his coach, his family, God, the owner, or does not thank anybody?
Definitely going God. Everybody always does it. I don't know why.
Everybody always does it, but Jimmy G is not a religious dude. and I think Jimmy G will be the Super Bowl MVP. So I am actually going to go teammates, which is 1.5 to 1 odds there. So God is 3 to 1. That's actually pretty good odds for God.
I take that because everybody that feels like, first of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and
Yeah.
not that, I'm a religious person and all, but that just, I don't know.
But here's the thing. If the Chiefs win, Mahomes will probably be the MVP. I don't think he's very
No,
religious
I think
either.
he is.
He is? Okay.
Doesn't he always wear a cross or something?
I actually don't know. I don't believe he's,
Oh, I thought he wore a necklace.
but I
Even
kind of
if,
think he's going to thank Andy Reid first, because that's kind of what you have to do when Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl. And that's 12 to 1 odds. And if you're going Super Bowl MVP, Mahomes has got to be one of the favorites.
no, you know who's going to win the Super Bowl MVP if the 49ers win, it's going to be that running back who was cut 6 times, so it's definitely going to be God. It's got to be God.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That is hard to argue. Yeah, okay, so those are 10 prop bets that are kind of the fun prop bets for the game. Now we're going to get down to what really matters. Willie B, who is your pick to win the Super Bowl and why?
My pick to win the Super Bowl is going to be the Chiefs.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that close. That's
okay.
I think the Chiefs are gonna. I think I can see like a 35-14, a 42-21, like 42-17 type game. And people are going to be like, wait, you think the Chiefs are going to put up that many points? I think the Chiefs are going to put up that many points. It's not that I don't think this 49ers defense is phenomenal. I think they are. I think Andy Reid puts on an absolute show. I think Patrick Mahomes shows up and just puts on a masterclass of a performance. And I think the Chiefs just absolutely mop the floor.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes is one of the most fun players I can ever remember watching. And Andy Reid is one of the most likable coaches of all time. But I'm going with my guy, Jimmy G, the Garapa Show. San Francisco 49ers will be your Super Bowl champions this year because of one thing. Number one, they had the Garapa Show, who is a born winner. And number two, their defense is going to rattle Patrick Mahomes, I think. I mean, the Chiefs are a great team, obviously. They've they made it to the Super Bowl. They've won their last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won their last 9 games. But they've lost 4 games this year, and the games they've lost have been to kind of underwhelming teams. And they had a relatively easy schedule. They lost to the Colts. They lost to Houston. They lost to Green Bay, and they lost to Tennessee. They did beat Tennessee, and they did beat Houston in the playoffs. So they got redemption on those games. But the 49ers have such a good defense and a pretty good secondary where they can get to Patrick Mahomes, and they can control the ball, I think. I think Jimmy G is also he didn't show it in the championship game, but a great passer, a great quarterback. I think he has the talent to get him back in the game. I like the receivers that San Francisco has. I'm going to San Francisco 49ers as your Super Bowl champion. Jimmy G is going to bring it home and make Belichick wish that he cut Brady 4 years earlier and could keep Garoppolo in New England. That's my prediction. And that 100% will come true. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Just like your prediction came true on Habib and Connor, which I will never let you live down. So, real quick, for those of you that don't know, there was one time me and Graham got in a heated exchange on the air about Habib and Connor because Habib had just fought somebody, and I literally said he was toying with him that entire fight. Quinta. Yeah, it was Ali Quinta, and you were like, no, that was the real deal. He was getting pieced up. Connor will obliterate him, and because we've never had the opportunity to talk about this on the air again, I can finally tell all of our listeners I was right, and you were wrong by a mile because Habib was up and utterly dominated Connor.
When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will have to admit that one. I appreciate the fact you're bringing up the skeletons in my closet there. That was a very bad prediction on my part.
Yeah.
I fell victim to it. He got grounded and pounded to death. The rematch, though, Connor's coming. First of all, he's going to fight, I don't even know what he's going to do next. He's going to fight Mayweather again or some, or Pacquiao.
He's losing any other fight he fights at this point, honestly. I think, And that's not a knock on Connor. Connor is easily one of the best. I know we're
I think
completely
you beat
ignoring-
Masvidal.
I think he's one of the best fighters ever. But the problem is there's a lot of people that are still slightly above him.
He bites off more than he can chew.
Yeah, like
Which I
I
respect.
don't think he can beat the top. Like he can beat anybody in either of the divisions except for the people he's challenging. I don't think he wins any of those fights. I don't think
I think he
beats
beats Masvidal. I don't think
I
he
don't
beats
think he
Khabib.
beats Masvidal. Masvidal's too big for him and too good of a wrestler and has a
He
chin.
is he a good wrestler? Like,
Yeah.
the
Well-
thing with Connor is he's not a great wrestler. Like, he's a much better at standing. He's got the great left hand, obviously, but if he goes up against someone with a good enough chin, then that's going to be a problem for Connor because he's got one weapon basically. That's the left hand, and if anyone takes him to the ground, then Connor's an average fighter at best. Which I learned versus Khabib because that was a no contest basically. But okay, so that's the Super Bowl preview. I'm going 49ers. Willie B is going Kansas City. We'll check in next week to see who is right. But now I want to get to some Magic the Gathering topics, which is really, I guess, what everyone listens to this podcast to hear. Despite our, killer Super Bowl knowledge. But it has been some really interesting things posted on the Magic the Gathering Reddit, which has been the untapped.gg sample win rate, the top decks. And it's actually changed a lot. So I'm looking at 2 weeks here. I'm looking at January 16th to January 20th, and then January 20th to January 26th. And the success rate of the decks has really changed dramatically. So the first week, the sample size is 240,000 matches. The second week is only 124,000 matches. So a little less of a sample size, but I would still say that, 124,000 matches is a large enough sample size to get a pretty good understanding of the meta. The first week, which I was surprised by, mono white aggro actually had the highest win rate, will it be, if you can believe that.
I know that one threw me off for a loop, honestly. I would not have guessed mono white would have been the top deck. And the crazy part about it is, so all of these kind of have a large plus or minus differential. In mono white, they're pretty sold that it's 60% is right where it's at.
Win rate, yeah. For best of one, it's a good best of one deck, I guess, but so this is kind of your Johnny's Pride Mate kind of life gain to aggro type deck. Playing Heliod, which is a card everyone expected to be good, and Linden, the Steadfast, and Unbreakable Formation, a Johnny Strength of Pride. You're playing kind of 19 to 21, 22 lands here, depending on the deck. There's some good support with Theros with this deck with Heliod. I've actually surprisingly not run into this deck that much. And maybe that's just me not playing enough matches to run into it. But I guess in best of one, it was just well positioned. I think a lot of people were playing kind of go over the top, control strategies, and a fast, aggressive deck, I guess, was really what it took. Because number 2 was Rakdos Knights, which is kind of a similar strategy, which is go underneath, go aggro. And I guess these aggro decks really were kind of kicking ass. And this Rakdos Knights deck is an Embercleave, and we love Embercleave, will it be, of course.
Yes. Embercleave is actual Pog champ.
Yeah, 100%. So then next going down the list, we have Simic Ramp, which is, I think, probably the most popularly played deck. And you can see why, according to untapped.gg, it had a 58.6% win rate. And the specific deck they're referencing kind of it's very similar, basically identical to the Andrea Mangucci Mythic Championship deck, except it includes the Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath in there. With Agent of Treachery, Endra's Forerunners, Finale of Devastation, all that good stuff. Gruul, which I was very surprised by, is actually number 4 on the list for this week, playing Clawfist, God of Destiny, and Embercleave. Gruul is always kind of in the running. Javier Dominguez obviously won a Mythic Championship with that. And then Timor Ramp, this is kind of the Timor Elemental strategy, Timor Ramp, with Nyx Plumation, all that stuff, actually 52.1% win rate. So significant decrease from mono white. Where things get interesting is the more recent strategies, I think. and this is from January 20th to January 26th. The number one ranked deck, according to Untapped.gg, is a Rainbow Niv-Mizzet 5-color Fires deck, which is actually playing basically no new cards except for 2 copies of Uro of Titan's Wrath from Theros. And this is posting a 64.1% win rate, which is like really surprising to me. This is a really cool deck. I played a very similar deck to this towards the end of Throne of Eldraine, and it's cool to see how it's still doing well. I think just Casualties of War is just that good of a card. And Niv-Mizzet Reborn, too, is a great card if you can get the 5 colors out to cast it. Yeah, I'm very happy this deck is doing well. I don't know. Have you tried this out, Willie B?
Yeah, I tried it out a little bit. I mean, I love Rainbow Fires because obviously it's just a nice little bit of like change of pace, and you get to use a little bit of everything. It's a nice little dabble in everything, because there's been so many times where, it's just one color dominates. And,
right.
That's the great thing about Rainbow Fires, is that allows for that nice, like we've always talked about.
Very varied.
Yeah, it's a large variety. And even though obviously like the deck itself could become the meta, it's still cool the fact that like it's multiple colors. But at the same time, even if it's dominant, I feel like the fact that it is multiple colors allows for you to possibly be able to counter it. Not better, because obviously if it's still top, but like you can try and find a hard counter for it.
And like, well, it's just interesting because, a card like Teferi Time Rattler is not usually in the same deck as a card like Casualties of War. And it's cool that just with Fires of Invention as a card, it just allows all of these to work together. I'm interested. I mean, when this deck does not get Fires of Invention, it's not great because Niv-Mizzet Reborn can't fetch Fires of Invention. One thing I found to be pretty fun is replacing Kenrith, the Return King, with the Raw Planeswalker that lets you copy your spells. So then whenever you cast Casualties of War, you can basically copy it and essentially win the game right there just by playing it. Obviously, Kenrith can win you the game too, though. So those are both fun win cons. The number 2 deck is Rakdos Aggro. This is a different Rakdos deck than Rakdos Knights. This is more of a traditional Witches Oven Cauldron familiar deck, kind of a sacrifice strategy. And this deck is actually playing not a single new card from Theros Beyond Death, if you can believe that, and it's still posting a 62.1% win rate. So at the end of the day, sometimes you don't need to be forced to play the new cards. I am surprised because the Red-Black Titan seems like a pretty good card to me, but in this deck, I guess it's just not the way to go. I don't know. The next one we have is the deck I've been playing, which is Mono Red Aggro. In my opinion, Mono Red Aggro is just the best deck to rank right now to ladder. And it's not because it's got a great win rate. I mean, it does have a pretty good win rate, but it's the best thing about it is the games just take like 2 to 3 minutes each. Yeah. So even if you lose, you can. I mean, if you have a 57% win rate and each match is 4 minutes long, you're going to rank faster than if you have a 59% win rate and each match is like 9 minutes long, 10 minutes long, just by the way the math works. So I've been ranking like crazy using Mono Red. I mean, it's not the most fun strategy to play. You kind of feel like a scumbag playing Mono Red. Mono Red, I still do. Not a scumbag, but just like I don't feel very creative playing it, if you know what I mean. Yeah. It's just kind of a deck that's been around forever. But
I definitely get that vibe. But same thing, Mono Red is also like something that like you said, if you're kind of in a pinch, like you don't have necessarily that much time to play, like you got 45 minutes to an hour, you just want to crank out a bunch of games, then you can kind of lean on Mono Red. But same thing, if I had like a couple hours to play, I probably wouldn't touch Mono Red. I'm just going to, grind, play, different types of decks, just, kind of pedaddle in a couple other decks as well.
Absolutely.
And yes, that is a new phrase that I am going to trademark. Pediddle and pedaddle.
Pediddle and pedaddle, I like it.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. And then number 4, we have Mono White Aggro. So still putting up good numbers. Actually, 61% win rate, which is actually higher than last week. It's just other decks have been getting a higher win rate on here. Yeah. So clearly Mono White Aggro is a deck that you should be trying out. Because if this data from Untapped.gg is to be believed, Long and wide aggro seems like it's definitely a tier 1 strategy, which I am surprised by, but I'm not going to argue with the data because I'm not going to argue if a sample size as big as what this graph is telling me. Yeah. And then last but not least, we have everyone's favorite, Simic Flash. You all know it. You all love it. Really nothing different in this list than what you've seen before. Kind of counter everything, and then you got Nissa to clean up, Nightpack Ambusher, all that fun stuff. I guess play this deck but I just hate playing against it, so I'm not going to encourage it, but I appreciate how people enjoy it. I mean, it's much more fun to play than to play against. It's one of those type of strategies. So, and Simic is clearly good enough where even if you're not playing some of the great new cards, it's still going to win you some matches. So that's kind of the meta breakdown we got right now. And we'll see when the new week gets posted on untapped.gg how it changes. We'll definitely be talking about that next week. But we just kind of want to take today to kind of do a Super Bowl preview show. We hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't, then we'll focus more on Magic next week. Yeah. But any final thoughts, Willie B?
No, I mean, it was just really fun. It was cool to do a little bit of a variety. I mean, obviously, kind of all of our podcasts and episodes are a little bit of the variety kind, given we kind of change things up all the time and bounce wall to wall. But it was nice to step out of the Magic realm and into the sports realm for a bit. And I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you that tune in every week to listen to us goobers just talk about the game that we all love. And I hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend ahead of them.
Absolutely, and this will be posted on Saturday morning, so we hope you're listening while you're playing Magic, and we hope you might have learned a thing or two about the Super Bowl from this, and we will definitely all talk to you next week. So we'll see you later.